We are live!
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Thanks for coming. I think today is a huge, important topic that's interesting for many people, many online teachers. So I have my friend Jasmine here. Hey, Jasmine.
Hi! Hi, Teacher KASIE. Hi, everyone watching.
Yeah, so thank you for coming on. I just reached out to her and was like, hey, can you give us some help with some tax ideas? And she's like, sure. So I love it. Love it. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure, absolutely. Thanks for having me. So a lot of your viewers may already have seen a couple of my videos and or be in our VIP Kid Facebook group that's called VIP Kid All About Taxes. If not, my name is Jasmine. I'm the founder of Moment Tax Services here in Southern California. Fountain Valley, California is where my office is. Wow. And I have a VIP Kid tax group that I share a lot of good information and just kind of help answer questions for people in the group. And you know, a lot of them want to know how to become a client. A lot of them want to know how to do taxes on TurboTax. A lot of them want to know just questions about EIDL and PPP. So I try to help however I can, wherever I can. A little bit less during tax season because it's so busy. Yeah. But outside of tax season, I'm a little bit more active. So I'm happy to answer, you know, the most frequently asked questions today that are probably like asked over and over and over again. Really hot topics right now. And then so besides that, I'll let you lead the way. You ask me whichever questions that you feel seem fit, and then we'll go from there. But I think you were asking me earlier about tell you about my education and my school, my credentials. I don't know. I've never done this before.
I love it.
Interviewed. I don't know.
This is just fun. Yeah, whatever you want to tell us. Yeah, so she said, fight on, yay for USC.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so I did go to USC. I graduated in 2014 with a degree in politics, philosophy, and law. The goal was law school. Took a little turn, went into accounting and taxes and things like that. So now I have a tax firm, Moment Tax Services. I have a small team, and outside of taxes during tax season, I have corporate clients and business clients that I service their monthly accounting, bookkeeping, payroll, for, you know, just any kind of business needs related to this topic. So that's what I do outside of tax season, and then during tax season, I do everything except sleep.
Right.
So, but yeah, so.
Yeah, that's I mean, I like math, but whew, I don't know.
Yeah,
and you're a VIP Kid teacher.
And I'm a VIP Kid teacher, although I'm not teaching actively because there's just no time for it during tax season. And also being in California, the time frame of teaching is really, really hard because you have to wake up at like 2 o'clock in the morning. So it's not as, you know, critical or crucial or beneficial during tax season. But otherwise, yeah, definitely VIP Kid teaching is fun. It's, you know, the students are so cute, and you know, it's just I make relationships with them, and then you think about them when you're not teaching, and so it's nice. You get to know them personally.
Love it. So hey, welcome. I see a couple people here. Say hello in the chat. Where are you tuning in from? We'd love to know who's listening. And if you have questions, you can put them in the chat as well. Now, just remember that everyone's tax needs are different. Jasmine can give kind of basic answers, but your situation may be different than than what she's going to mention today.
And as we discussed previously, I wanted to make mention generally and overall, very broadly at the beginning of the video that as you just said, the advice that I give is very general advice. That is, you know, general information, I should say, that I would be sharing as general advice. But although I'm a tax accountant, I'm not your tax accountant. So it's very important to make sure that, you know, although my general information and advice can generally be accepted, there's certainly little circumstances and factors that could vastly change the answer that I'm giving, depending on one little thing that your situation has that someone else doesn't have.
Right. And this year with all the changes and everything, I don't even know how you're keeping up, but we will get
I have
started.
a good team. I have a good team.
That's great.
I can't take the credit. I have a wonderful team. I have a wonderful support system. And yeah, we've been preparing for the tax bill, the COVID bill was 74,000 pages.
Oh.
So preparing for that and
I don't even read a book, like, yeah, to be honest.
You know, so but we take it on in chunks and in pieces as it fits the current case file that we have.
Wow.
That's like one way to do it.
Yeah. Whew. So Kathy, hey, she said hello from Central New York. And Brittany said, I'd love any tips, suggestions for selling products on TPT or Etsy. Would that be like, well, I guess for tax purposes there, maybe I know that's already been asked in one of our other groups. Do you have any suggestions for that?
For selling anything online, whether it's on an Etsy platform, Amazon platform, really any platform that you sell items online of, I would 100% say, make sure you keep track of your inventory, make sure you keep track of the expenses. This would relate to any business, but make sure you keep track of the total income that you're receiving and the total expenses that you're exerting and spending in order to be able to operate the business. One of the things about selling items online that's very different from what you and I do in teaching online is that you more than likely have sales tax laws that are applicable to what you do. And sales tax laws are one of those things that are super, super specific to what you do and super specific to where you are and even more specific to where you sell. So that requires, I always, for all my business clients that sell products online, like I work with a lot of social media influencers and they sell merchandise. As soon as they go famous and viral, they're like selling stuff everywhere. And there's just no way that I could keep track of every location that they ship an item to.
Right.
And that's the rule regarding regarding sales tax. The jurisdiction of where you have to pay sales tax to, a lot of times depends on where the item physically lands as the person, from where the person is that purchased it. So I would suggest that you connect some kind of app like Avalara or TaxJar to your selling portal, like Etsy, for example, which would track your sales for you and where the sale is originating from and where it's being shipped to. And then it'll give you a nice report of, you know, like in Orange County, you sold this much, so now you have a sales tax requirement. In Alaska, you sold this much, so you don't have a sales tax requirement, you know? So definitely for an online seller, be very, very vigilant of your sales tax. It can come back and get you quick.
Oh, thanks for the question, Brittany. So this, I was wondering, and I know a lot of, Rebecca said hello from Idaho. She said, sales tax, I never thought of that.
Only if you're selling items.
Right.
Not if you're selling a service, yeah.
Okay. One question that I had, and I even asked Jasmine this before, was, do I have to pay quarterly estimated taxes?
Oh, that's a really big one. I think I answered that maybe 3,600 times a day.
Well, can you answer it 3,601 times today?
And one time, absolutely. So this one will surely depend on your circumstances. It can definitely vary on your personal circumstances, but very general rule of thumb regarding self-employment taxes, and I have a good example of this that I'll give you right after. Very basic general rule of thumb for self-employment quarterly taxes is if you expect to owe the IRS more than $1,000 at the time that you file your annual taxes at the end of the year, meaning you're going to come and do your taxes, the money that you owe is due April 15th. If you expect to owe more than $1,000 at that time, that means you have a quarterly tax filing requirement for the year proceeding ahead. Okay, so a lot of the times when I say that, most people are like, well, why, how, who, where? And the best example I could give is think about when you work for a company, you have a W-2 job. And let's just use Walmart as an example. If I work for Walmart and I get paid every 2 weeks, there's 3 types of taxes that are generally withheld out of my W-2 or out of my paycheck that result in a W-2 at the end of the year with Walmart. There is income taxes, Social Security taxes, and Medicare taxes. The Social Security and Medicare taxes combined are referred to as FICA taxes, which equate to 15.3% in taxes, okay? When you work for Walmart, Walmart is responsible for paying half of that tax for you. So they pay 7.6%, you pay 7.6%. The 7.6% that you're responsible for paying gets withheld out of your paychecks, which is the Social Security and Medicare taxes you see withheld each time, and then they match it, okay? So if Walmart has 500,000 employees and they are keeping 7.6% from their employees, and they have a responsibility to match that 7.6% for their employees, they would be sitting on a lot of the IRS's money if they were not sending that money to the IRS either on a monthly or quarterly basis.
Right.
So consider us to be our own Walmart. When you're self-employed, not only do you not have someone matching the taxes for you, that 7.6%, but you also don't have someone withholding it and remitting it, meaning sending it to the IRS for you. So that becomes your responsibility. The IRS considers you not paying quarterly taxes as borrowing their money interest-free, which definitely they're not a fan of.
Right.
So that's why they say, if you're going to owe us more than $1,000 at the end of the year, then you have the requirement or obligation to pay us our money on a timely basis. So at a minimum, you know you're going to have 15.3% because that's the Social Security and Medicare taxes, namely FICA taxes. And then additionally, you have income taxes, which really just depends on what tax bracket you fall into, which could be dependent on if you're single, if you're head of household, if you're married, those kinds of things. So at a minimum, the smallest tax bracket or the lowest tax bracket that you could fall into is 10%. So you know at a minimum, you have 10% in income taxes and at a minimum 15.3% in self-employment taxes, making the minimum 25.3% of the net amount of money that you make, the net profit.
Excellent. Rebecca, that was my question too. Is there a penalty if I file yearly and owe more than $1,000?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the first year there won't be more than, and this part of it, honest to God, you guys, everything with the IRS is always varying, and sometimes things happen, sometimes things don't happen.
Right.
But definitely this year, because of COVID, I can tell you I've seen the same situation for 3 or 4 of my clients that have been clients for years, and I've gotten different responses and different answers for all of them. So the true genuine answer is yes, because it's a requirement. So definitely if they make it a requirement and you don't do it, surely there's penalties, but the penalties are super minimal in most cases. The penalties are relevant to and related to how much you ultimately owe. Like surely someone who ends up owing $1,200 isn't going to be penalized the same way someone who owes $50,000 at the end of the year. And I see both. I literally see both. So the good thing is most of the penalty is calculated within the tax return and in the software as you do it, depending on how much you ultimately owe. It'll have you put in your prior year tax liability, and based on your prior year tax liability, it'll calculate how much your penalty is. So I've seen a penalty for $1. I've seen penalties for $3, for $5. I've also seen penalties for $500, $700, $800. But those are people that owe a significant amount of money because let's say they started working a side gig or a new self-employment route of income, let's say during the year, and they just didn't pay any taxes at all, and they dealt with it all at the end of the year. So they had like this huge chunk of income to all of a sudden report. So the penalties are normally not super exorbitant. They're pretty small and definitely relevant to how much you owe, but there are multiple kinds of penalties. There's like failure to file penalty, failure to pay penalty, failure to this penalty, failure to that penalty. So in addition to the little small penalty that gets calculated based on how much you ultimately owe, there's sometimes another letter that comes in the mail from the IRS, and it will have like a $175 penalty or a $275 penalty. And that is usually only happens when you've filed more than 1 year of not paying self-employment taxes, more than 1 year of self-employment taxes without paying quarterly self-employment taxes.
Gotcha.
Generally you can get away with it. Generally you can get away with it. One thing I'll say about this is you always have a one-time penalty abatement waiver with the IRS. So at any time that you get a fee with the IRS related to failure to file, failure to pay, although the interest on the money that you owe can never be waived, and the interest will always be due as of the date that money should have been paid, the failure to pay penalty can be waived one time as a courtesy every 3 years. And it's a simple matter of calling the IRS and saying like, hey, I didn't know I needed to make quarterly estimated payments. I got a penalty in the mail. Can we waive? And they normally do it with no questions asked.
Nice. My wheels are turning. Are
they? Yeah, there's a lot to consider on that one. But I guess one thing to consider for estimated quarterly taxes too is a lot of people say like, oh, I didn't pay it and I didn't get fined, or I didn't pay it and it was perfectly fine. You don't have to do it either.
Lucky you.
Yeah.
Might bite you in the butt later.
Usually it's because those people have another W-2 job on their tax return as well, or maybe their spouse is not self-employed. So the taxes that are paid on their spouse's W-2 covers the taxes that they might have due on this line of self-employment. But every tax return is different. Every tax return is different.
Excellent. Good question, Rebecca. Thank you.
Yes,
let's see. Oh, what if I didn't get a 1099 NEC from the company I work for? I think we saw that on another one too, right?
Yeah, we saw that a few times. So not getting a 1099 does not exempt you from filing taxes. You still have to file taxes in most cases. I feel like I have to say in most cases after everything, but really in most cases. Because the self-employment filing threshold of basically the amount of money that you have to make before you have to file self-employment taxes is $400 total income. So if you work a small part-time job at Walmart and you also do VIP Kid on the side and you make $300 with VIP Kid, you still have to file and report your VIP Kid $300 because your overall income is more than just the $400 threshold of self-employment income.
Oh, okay.
But if you only worked VIP Kid or any other self-employment gig and you only made less than $400, then no, you don't have a tax filing requirement. And to specifically answer your question about the 1099, you will only get a 1099 if that company that you work with pays you more than $600.
Oh, okay.
So if you work for VIP Kid and you don't make more than $600 in one calendar year that you were paid, you will not be getting a 1099. So if you made between $400 and $600, you would be putting that income on your tax return on a Schedule C the same way you would if you had a 1099, but maybe you would be listing it as the other income section within a Schedule C for not having a 1099. And if you made less than $400 and it's all you made total the whole year with no other income at all, then you just don't even have a filing requirement period.
Nice. Wow. Awesome. I like this question.
One of the big ones.
Yeah, I like this question because we have lots of friends with all different companies. So what if I work for multiple teaching companies? Do I need different Schedule C for each one?
So the answer is no, you don't need a different Schedule C. And if someone's next question is what is the Schedule C? The Schedule C is the form that would be within the tax return, which is namely the income and expense sheet, where you report your self-employment income and expenses. So the rule of thumb for Schedule Cs is that as long as all of the income you're including on the same Schedule C is for the same type of business activity, it can go on the same Schedule C. So you can combine your VIP kid teaching with your go-go kid, with your zebra English, it's all the same activity with your tutoring, all of that would be okay because it will have the same code, the same like IRS code that I think it's the NACIS code. It'll have the same code. So it would make sense to put it on the same Schedule C.
Yeah.
But if you have like a crafting business or you have an Etsy store or you drive for Uber and you're getting 1099s from all these different places, or you're not getting 1099s, you're just earning revenue from those places, you would not be combining those with the Schedule C for VIP Kid. Those would have separate schedules.
Awesome. Rebecca said, I wish tax time was not so confusing. Thanks for helping us.
Absolutely, you're welcome. Yeah, it usually gets easier once you have your own circumstances kind of figured out of what you need and what you don't need.
Right.
It makes it easier for you, but it never actually becomes not confusing because it's constantly changing.
Right.
Every year they throw something in there.
That's the thing. It's not the same every year. There's always something different. So
absolutely. Deductions change, credits change, rules change. This year with COVID, I mean, there's all kinds of new reportings. Some apply to some people, some don't apply to other people, but definitely there's a lot new for COVID this year. Like I said, the bill was 74,000 pages.
Yeah.
So there's a lot.
That's like gives me the heebie-jeebies. Amanda said, hello, I'm here. I made the live. Amanda Panda's in the house.
Hi, Amanda.
California.
Yes.
California friends. Awesome. So let's see. Oh, that's a good one. How do I determine my write-offs for my business?
This is definitely a good one. So write-offs. I would 100% say to think of the bigger picture when you're considering write-offs and really think about, I think we all agree that it takes money to make money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it takes money to make money. So when you're thinking of your write-offs, genuinely think about how much and what kind and where you have to spend money in order to be able to make this money that you're making. Mm-hmm. So for like online teachers, for example, you got to have headphones, you got to have a computer, you got to have a chair to sit on, you got to have a desk to have your computer on, you got to have, electricity, internet. You probably have, not probably, but you need to have a phone in order to be able to, do any kind of business, fill out the application and be able to have the company call you or be contacted or be on the app and, check your schedule and open your bookings and close your bookings. So really think about all the things you have to do day to day in your business to be able to produce and generate this money. And that would be the big rule of thumb. And then definitely I would say related to expenses, you're an online teacher, so you're on a computer, you're on some kind of app, right? Keep a spreadsheet all day. All day. I don't think any of us are really not on a computer, whether we're a teacher or not. Right. But I would definitely suggest keeping some kind of spreadsheet and just keep track of the things that you even think are relevant. Mm-hmm. And then when it comes to doing your taxes at the end of the year, if you're working with an accountant, then they surely should be able to say like this, yes, this, no, this, yes, this a little bit, this percentage of it, this not at all, this all of it, Yeah. And then that way you are not worried about leaving anything off that could have been beneficial to you. So 100% think of the things that directly enable you to do your job. Right. And then there's also things that indirectly, like if you paint your house, surely the cost of the paint for your whole house wouldn't be a business write-off on your business taxes, but the cost of painting your specific office room would be.
Painting the back wall green for a green screen.
Exactly, for a green screen. Exactly.
Hey, I'm getting it.
Or like a really big one that's like super high up for debate in our group. And there's like over 12,000 members. So it's like highly debatable. Is uniforms, shirts for VIP Kid.
Oh.
So per the IRS regulations, per IRS publications, as long as it is a branded clothing attire, then it is 100% a tax write-off. Can you go buy anything orange and call it a tax write-off because VIP kid colors are orange and you could be like, well, it's branded? No, because the color orange is not a brand by itself.
Right.
But if you go buy orange shirts and print or stamp or iron the VIP kid logo on it, then definitely the cost of the shirt and the cost of the stamp and the cost of the ironing press that you probably bought to iron that stamp on there is definitely a tax write-off. It would be the same for a realtor who goes and buys really nice coats or jackets to go show clients their houses. They couldn't write off all their coats and jackets and things like that just because it's formal, because you could wear those formal clothes in other locations and other events.
Right.
But if they went and stamped their realtor company name on it, or like in my case, if I went and bought, jackets or, blazers or whatever and stamped Moment Tax Services on them, then I could take it as a write-off. But if I just have a really nice shopping spree at Kohl's with a lot of just fun clothes that just look professional, that by itself would not be a write-off.
Darn, not just kidding.
Yeah, I was gonna go today actually.
This is pretty much as professional as I get.
Yeah.
It just hit me for YouTube being monetized. I mean, I haven't made the threshold yet, but hopefully next year.
It's so exciting. That is so exciting. I can't wait till I can say that.
Yes. Yes. So before we're done with this, check out Jasmine has a channel all about her Moment Tax Services and all about taxes and things. So check her channel out. I linked it below. So yeah.
Most of the videos on there right now are about EIDL and PPP.
Yes. We're gonna talk. You want to talk about those now?
Yes, we can. Absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely on our list. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me look. Rebecca said, I'm so glad for tax software. My first tax memory at age 18 was paper and pencil at my parents' dining room.
Oh, yeah.
Amanda said she has a wonderful tax lady. Ooh, that's nice.
Good. It's definitely an investment, and it's a good one to have, especially if you have a good trusting relationship with the person.
Right.
I'm there for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. So you want to just take it away with those acronyms you just gave us?
Yes, I said EIDL, which stands for the Economic Injured Disaster Loan. I might have butchered that, but that's what it is. Those are the 4 words in order. And then the PPP is the Paycheck Protection Program. I cannot stress enough, and I don't know why this is very respectfully, I don't know why this is such a confusing thing for people to understand. But very respectfully, those are 2 entirely separate programs. If we can just square that away, I think 90% of what we have to deal with is pretty good to go.
Okay,
those are 2 entirely different programs. 2 different programs. I can't say it enough. They are both processed through the SBA, the Small Business Administration. Mm-hmm. Ultimately, the SBA is who's responsible for the finalization of your paperwork and passing it through the funding, and wherever the funding comes from trickles down from the U.S. Treasury. It ultimately goes through the SBA, and the SBA funds those programs. But they are 2 entirely separate programs. That'll be the last time I say it. They are 2 entirely different programs.
Until later.
Yes, till later. I'll say it 6 more times later today.
Yeah, that's fine.
For what it's worth in this video, those are 2 entirely different programs. Now, the EIDL, which is, I'm going to brand it to say the $1,000 grant. Everybody's like, where's the $1,000 grant? Can I apply for the $1,000 grant? They are referring to the EIDL. Okay? Sidebar, I have videos on both of these on my YouTube channel. Yeah. Very in-depth, how to apply, how to get it, frequently asked questions, who, what, when, where, what, why. They're 30-minute videos, and I know maybe not everyone has 30 minutes, but I mean, I feel like if you're looking to get a free $1,000 or through the PPP a free few $1,000s, it might be worth watching the 30-minute video.
Right.
Right. So the PPP is the Paycheck Protection Program, very different from the EIDL. The EIDL is the $1,000 grant program that everyone is referring to. And the $1,000 grant program is over. It's done. The money dried up for it. So there is no way as of today to go apply for that $1,000 grant. Now, they are rolling out second rounds of this grant, but it's still not applicable for people who are going to apply as a first round. So basically the first round of it was like, if you're self-employed, you have a side income, you have a Schedule C, you can apply for this grant. It was like a 3-minute application, and you should have $1,000 within the next week in your account. It was as easy as that, okay? Because it was as easy as that, it came with a lot of fraud. It came with a lot of scams. It came with a lot of things that normally does when something is too easy to get as far as money from the government.
Right.
So when that money ran out, the only thing that they were still then offering was the subsequent loan offer. So the loan is still available to apply for the loan, but the EIDL Advanced Grant is over. There's no way to apply for that anymore.
Okay.
The second part of that funding that's now a lot of people are talking about in the last 2 to 3 days, they've been getting emails about, that is the Advanced Targeted Grant, okay? It's a targeted advance, and that means if you applied the first round, then if you are in a low income area, and if being in a low income area, you can show a 30% loss in revenue, not net profit income, in revenue in your business, then you would be eligible to receive the remaining up to $10,000 that they were advertising the first round. So the first round, they were like, hey, everybody's gonna get $10,000. And that was like not gonna work because there wasn't enough money for that. So they were like, okay, just kidding, we spoke too soon. Everyone's gonna get $1,000 per employee. So at this point, everyone who included themselves in the first round of the EIDL would be contacted by the SBA if they fit the low income economic area threshold. Right. So if you get an email and say, hey, you're in this area, you qualify, you have to respond back being able to show a 30% loss in your business. And only then would you be able to recover the rest between 1,000 to 10,000 total amount that they were going to give you. So if you already got 1,000, technically they're saying you can get up to another 9,000 to fulfill the entire 10,000, but there's no way to apply for it anymore. Right. And that squares away the EIDL. Because remember, it's different than the PPP.
It's different.
It's different than the PPP. The PPP is open. The PPP, you can go apply. The PPP has no restrictions about where you're located and this kind of stuff. Okay. So PPP, there was a first round and a second round. If you did not get it the first round, then while you're going through the application, you would just select that this is the first time that you're applying for PPP, and you would go through, and it's like literally shouldn't take you more than 3 to 5 minutes to do it. And I have a video on it. If you already got the PPP the first round and you're applying for the PPP the second time now, and it's available to do it, that one is still available to apply as a second time. Even if you got it the first time, or even if you didn't get it the first time, it doesn't matter. You're still eligible to apply for the PPP. For that one, if it's your second time getting it, then you need to show a 25% reduction in gross revenue from any quarter in 2020 to the same quarter in 2019. So you would need to, like as a VIP kid teacher, you would go add up all your income by month, add them by quarter then, right? So you got January, February, March, you have your income for the first quarter. Do that for 2019 and also do that for 2020. January, February, March, and have your quarter one income. Do the same thing for every 3 months. So you have 4 quarters income to compare 2020 versus 2019. And as long as in any one quarter relevant to the same quarter, you can show a 25% loss, you qualify to get the PPP, which is different than the EIDL.
This may be a pet peeve of hers.
Just a little bit. So the PPP is still available and you can apply for it. That one's called the Paycheck Protection Program. And it comes out as a loan, but as long as you spend it the way the forgiveness qualifications require you to, then you can submit a subsequent 2-minute application that said that you upload your subsequent documents showing, yes, I spent it XYZ the way you required me to, and then it's
Right.
forgiven and it's grant.
Awesome.
So it should be just as easy as that.
Do you want to say it one more time? Do you just feel the need?
There's no one's gonna subscribe to my channel, and if they do, they'll just come over and be like, just for the fun of it, they'll be like, is the EIP all the same?
I know. Everyone go over, subscribe to her channel, and write that question below her PPP video.
That would be really nice. That would be really nice. Now it's become a joke. Now it's like,
right.
Now it's just my joke.
Right, there you go. Rebecca said child credit. In the past, we got it once a year and took off a big chunk off what we owe with 2 kids. They're thinking of paying that to people monthly. How will that affect tax time?
Ooh.
Wow.
I have no idea just
yet. In the
yet.
past, we got it once a year and it took off a big chunk of
Yeah. So just to chime in on it from other information, other relevant information.
Yeah.
So the child tax credit is usually, if she's referring to the child tax credit, because she said child credit. So it might be child dependent, like dependent care credits, or that's also an option of what she might be referring to.
She's got 2 little ones.
Okay, so I'm assuming she's referring to the child tax credit.
Yeah.
Yes, normally it's up to $2,000 per child. And as she said, it's a credit. So it reduces the amount that you owe. And if you don't owe, it gives you a change back and your refund.
Yep.
I'm assuming, although I'm not sure at all, I'm assuming that if they were to do something like that on a monthly basis, it would probably look a lot like what happened with the stimulus and also healthcare, which is that it would come as an advance. So the amount that you get, per month would then be reconciled on your end of year tax return to say, this is how much I got, this is how much my credit would have been on my end of year tax return. And then you would maybe subtract what you got during the year from what the credit would be that they would give you at the end of the year. Kind of like what happened with stimulus. Most people got the stimulus, but if they hadn't filed taxes, or if they were dependent on someone else's taxes and they didn't get their stimulus, then they're able to get it on their tax return this year because the stimulus that came out was in advance. So they were giving you something in advance to be reconciled on your tax return. So if you got it, then nothing else needs to happen on your tax return besides indicating that you already got it. And if you didn't get it, then you would be indicating you didn't get it to get it. So it would be an advanced reconciliation. I'm assuming that that's what they would do if they were to give out the child tax credits on a monthly basis, but I can't be sure since I haven't read any tax law on it.
Yeah. Oh, good question. Man, you guys
are that's a really good one. They're also actually talking about making it a lot more than what it is while we're on that subject. They're talking about, right now it's a maximum of $2,000. And of course, they're just talking about this. This is not like passed or anything like that. But they're talking about making it $3,000 for children between 6 and under 17, and $3,600 for children under 6. So that would be nice if
that
they
would
did
be
that.
a big help.
That would be a really big
now
help.
that my kids are filing their
They're
own.
older, right?
How did I get so old?
I have my first one cooking in the oven.
I didn't know if I could mention that on here.
No, you can't. I don't think I ever have. So your channel is the first one to break the news. Breaking news.
I love it. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Okay, here was my thought. When you got pregnant, were you like, hey, tax write-off this year?
Yeah, that tax write-off. This is a good one. Yeah, to be honest, I would, if the diapers could be paid for with the total child tax credit, that would be nice. I'm not complaining. Right? That would be really nice.
Oh, that's awesome. I thought of that earlier. And I was like, I can't ask that because I don't know that she's announcing that.
No, that's okay. Yeah, I'm having a boy.
Oh, congratulations. Yay.
I'm having a boy. Thank you so much.
Rebecca said, woohoo, congrats. Aw.
Thank you, Rebecca.
You'll have to come back and chat. Look, I got goosebumps. Oh, I need to play with other people's babies.
I've only had nieces and nephews thus far. And I'm known as Auntie Jazzy, the candy queen.
Uh-oh.
So now, like, my brother and my sister are planning, like, payback.
Yeah. They're going to be like Play-Doh queen and drum king. They're going to be giving your kid all presents.
Exactly. Oh, you don't like the drum set that we got your kid? Why?
With the extra loud cymbals?
Why not?
Oh, Play-Doh in the carpet. Bummer.
Yeah. Oh, darn. I guess you'll just have to clean that up. Remember how my sister-in-law always tells me, do you know how long I have to brush their teeth every time you babysit? Like, oh, I didn't realize that. Oops.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Oh, this is so I don't know. On here it says someone told me I can do this or someone told me I can do that. I'm gonna say right now, don't listen to it.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Have you had people give you that kind of advice?
Oh, for anything. I mean, even when like something simple, like a kid says, "Look what I can do," I'm like, because you know they're like jumping off something or about to do something crazy they shouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that solicited advice or unsolicited advice.
Right.
When it's free advice being given, and okay, you know what? To be quite honest, I genuinely think that 99.9% of the time it's coming from a good place,
Right.
Where
right.
someone has good information or they've gotten information that was good to them, beneficial to them, and really, gave them some extra cash or whatever the case was for them. So out of the goodness of their heart, they want to share that with other people.
Right.
And unfortunately, sometimes those same circumstances don't apply. So then it turns into kind of like, oh no, maybe I shouldn't have taken that advice type of situation, So yeah, I would definitely say, like, I get a lot of people that will, contact us for taxes and say something like, my neighbor has 2 kids, I have 2 kids, and they always get an $8,000 refund. I always owe. But we both live on the same street. We both have 2 kids, and they'll mention all their similarities.
Right.
And then there's like, but you don't know if that person has investments. You don't know if that person has other income from other places. You don't even know how that person fills out their W-4. Maybe one person doesn't want any taxes taken out of their check during the year because they really need every dollar of their money up to the allowable amount during the year. And someone else is like, no, as a matter of fact, I want you to take more during the year because I look forward to that $2,000-$3,000 refund to put all of it in savings at once because I know I'll spend it if it's an extra $200 a month or something like that. So you really can't compare situations. For the most part, just the advice doesn't always apply.
You just reminded me, when I was active duty, we went and did a counseling type thing. And the guy was like, no, don't let them borrow your money and give it to you at the end. Keep it all and, pay stuff off with it every chance you got. So yeah, you can see it different ways.
Absolutely. Some people have credit card debt and they're like, if I can get that extra $100 to pay my credit card, if my credit card interest rate is 10% a month, well, then I'm not paying that $10 in interest every month because I got my check early to pay it. It's like so many different ways you can think about it. Someone else is like, well, I know that every year at the beginning of the year, we book this family vacation and I rely on that $2,000-$3,000 refund. That's kind of a savings in the background for me to go on that vacation.
Yeah.
So, people make different choices regarding that financial aspect of their taxes.
Right. Rebecca said the best generic tax advice is to know you will have to pay taxes. So save some aside. Don't spend everything you earn. Yeah. I put away 30%. Somebody told me at my first month in Vipkid, and that's what I've always done. But I wasn't paying quarterly taxes. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Hey, it's better to have it to send it all at once than to just have not even saved it and all of a sudden need to come up with it at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I guess it would be worthwhile here to mention that it's not the end of the world if you owe the IRS. I hope I don't get shot down for this. Someone's going to be like, it's not the end of the world for you, but it's the end of the world for me because I get a lot of that kind of stuff too. And I'm like, please, I'm just trying to help. Like, I'm a soft, don't be mean to me.
I'm a people pleaser too.
Yeah. It's not the end of the world if you have a balance due to the IRS at the end of the year because you can always apply for an installment agreement and pay monthly towards what you owe.
Yeah.
Do I suggest it? No, because it comes with interest.
Right.
But I mean, if it's your only resort and it's the difference between feeding yourself and your kids and having a roof over your head or being comfortable and stress-free and all of that kind of stuff.
There you go. Yep. Right. Oh, Mindy, so glad you're here. Thanks for coming. Mindy and Kelly are here.
Hi, Mindy.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming. We've got some good questions coming in the chat.
Perfect.
And Jasmine has hooked me up with some FAQs here. So yeah, definitely. If you guys have if you have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat or watch from the beginning. Nice hair, KASIE.
Yes.
I know, right? It kind of looks stripy though, doesn't it? I told you I told you my channel is very relaxed here, Jasmine.
I was like, remember I told you before this, I was like, I've never been interviewed before. How does this go?
And I'm like, these are my friends. Yeah. We're talking about my hairstyle. We're good. It's all good here.
I love it.
Well, I sent them a picture. So everyone in the chat, I think, almost is part of a group chat, and we send pictures. And I was in the hair salon with foils, and I sent them a picture.
I like that.
Yeah, it's just we're just goofy. Let's see. Oh, my husband and I filed jointly. That was for the EIDL and PPP, but she has plenty of videos. Oh, there's an airplane flying over. It's super loud.
Oh.
She has videos on that. So you want to go check out her channel for those if you have some. She goes over, step by step on everything about those. So let's see. I think that's pretty much it for this one, except how to contact you, but we can get to that. Or you can mention that now, and then when we finish, we'll make sure to mention it again. So,
I mean, I think you left links down below.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So just links will be down below. There's our website link. Within the website, there's a link that goes straight to the booking, online booking.
Mm-hmm.
You can book a 30-minute consultation, a 1-hour consultation, but specifically for online teachers and only online teachers, because you guys are my people, and we go, we have this thing. I have a free 15-minute strategy session. So it's not a consultation. We're not specifically getting into your specific tax circumstances or your tax questions, but it's kind of a get to know me, get to know you chat, and to get a personalized quote of what it would look like working together, what would be included, which is like everything. When you work with me, you can just put taxes out of your mind for the entire rest of the year until it comes back again. So yeah, the information will be definitely in the chat box below, along with the YouTube channel that they can check out for the EIDL and PPP, which are two separate things.
I can't believe you offer that 15 minutes for online teachers. She's got a group of 12,000 people in the Facebook group, and you had that up there, and I was like, what?
Yeah, it gets, Mondays, right now, it's only Monday through Wednesday that I have my calendar open for it, because it's like back to back to back all day. Yeah. So like 9 to 1 or 2, I'm just on the phone doing that. So I basically work pro bono 9 to 2 Monday through Wednesday. Wow. And being on the phone. Thankfully, I'm blessed enough to say a lot of the people that I speak to, I would say 80 to 90% on board right then and there, as a client. So, excellent. It's really lucrative for both parties because, excuse me, some people are like, well, I just want to talk to you and kind of get to know you before I kind of start sending you my whole life, paperwork. But the reason why I can only do it 3 days a week right now, Monday through Wednesday, is because I genuinely can't perform in actually producing work in between doing other things. Like I just sit and I only focus on work during the time that I'm not on the phone. Mm-hmm. So I leave like the evening hours for just constructive production. Yeah. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sundays, I don't work at all. I try not to.
And she's pregnant, guys. So, and the fact that you're here doing this for us, I just appreciate it so much, because I was like, should I message her? It's so close to tax season. And
no, I'm happy that you did. If my brother was here, he would definitely vouch for this. I think I told you about the funny childhood story before, but I love talking. So you can invite me to talk at any time you want to invite me to talk. I love it.
Yes, that's pretty much how this channel is. Everyone's like, well, what's your niche? I have friends with travel, and I'm like, is talking a niche? Like, I just talk to people.
I just want to talk. Yeah, definitely.
That's awesome. Oh, I thought this was interesting. So those of you that don't know, on the VIP Kid website, Jasmine has sent me, there's information on there. A lot of it is very repetitive. We're not going to go over it all, but I did think that a question on there was, can I receive an electronic copy of my Form 1099 miscellaneous, if I do not have a valid contract with Vipkid, so if your contract has ended, it says, if you do not have a valid contract at the end of the year, you will automatically receive a paper copy. So I thought that might help.
Yeah,
and actually, I think you already, the other one we highlighted, I think you already answered that. I am an American. How do I file for my yearly tax returns?
You know, I think if we have a few extra minutes, I know we're coming up on the hour here, so I'll make brief mention of this.
This is your time.
You're good?
Oh yeah.
My longest.
Kristen from Kristen's Classroom. I don't know if you know her. We had a 2.5-hour coffee chat one time.
Wow, that is nice. I don't know if I'm interesting enough to keep anybody engaged for that long.
We had 20-something people on there. I think it was at the beginning of COVID, and I think people just wanted to talk, you know, and it was just really nice. But I gotta say really quick, Mindy said the stripey will fade with each wash. Super cute. I bet you don't see it when it's down. I don't know. I've never seen my hair down.
Do you always have it up?
Now, yeah. I used to keep it down like when I worked at the bank and everything, but once I became active duty, I don't think I ever let my hair down again. Rebecca, is talking a niche? I don't know. You tell me.
I'd be in that niche. I would be a subscriber all over that niche.
Right?
I would be a customer. I would be a subscriber. I would be a visitor.
Well, you're here now. You're stuck with the team now.
I love it.
Oh, one more thing. Rebecca said her dad's interview was over an hour with me. Her dad, I think Rebecca's interview was over an hour too, but her dad is a teacher and a magician. And he's doing a TED Talk coming up, and he came on to practice on my channel and stuff. He is amazing. Yeah.
So since he's a teacher and a magician, is there any way you can do a magic trick to get the kids to stop picking their nose while we're teaching?
Distractions.
Just a thought. Like, can we make that happen?
Okay, I have been taken to the bathroom for 4 days in a row from different kids. It's like all of a sudden. I don't understand it, and I'm just over it. So
are like child nudity laws an American thing and not like a foreign country thing?
Well, it's definitely different in other countries. Like when I lived in Japan, I had to walk through the men's room to get to the women's room sometimes. Like it's just not a big deal in other countries.
Yeah.
But pooping at the same time?
I don't know.
I never see anything, so I'm not worried about the nudity, but I don't want the kids sitting there.
Yeah. I mean, there's like all kinds. They pay a lot of money.
Oh, but they're still taking class. Like,
yeah, they pay an absorbent amount of money to be in this class. So I'm just wondering why you're not told to go to the bathroom
beforehand
before you start teaching, before you start your teaching lesson.
Okay, I'm sorry, I totally cut you off. So
no.
The question was, I am an American. How do I file for my yearly tax returns?
Right. So the I am an American part, I think, is the distinguishing factor separating how do I file my annual taxes as opposed to I'm an American, how do I file my taxes? And the reason why I say that is because there's a lot of Americans that live abroad in a lot of different countries. So, you know, like in my situation, for example, I work with like, I'd say over 150 Vipkid teachers nationally as clients. And then I have clients in 18, maybe now 19 different countries as well that are American, of course. So they have a US tax filing requirement. And so that I would definitely say that's a distinguishing factor in saying I'm an American, because they may be in the US and they may not be in the US.
Right.
So if they're not in the US, then they're what we call an expat. And there's different procedures for filing taxes as an expat. And there's also different, you know, credits or deductions and things that apply to teachers that are expats. Right. So the tax filing process, I would say, is the same. You're either doing it yourself or you're hiring an accountant, or, you know, or us to do it for you. Either way, you would still have the same tax filing requirements that we discussed earlier in the video about the less than 400, getting a 1099 over 600, all of that stuff. Same rules apply, but surely there would be additional forms and schedules that would be included to report and differentiate income that you earn from the US versus income that you earn from a foreign country that still needs to be reported on your US tax return, but then there is more additional paperwork to make sure that you're not double taxed if you already paid taxes to that foreign country for that income. So,
hey, I understood all of that. Being a teacher overseas for years, being an expat.
Yeah. It's so many people do it, and it's lucrative because, you know, the foreign earned income exclusion lets you exclude up to about $107,000 of your income from income taxes. So, you know, if you like to travel and you're a nomad and you want to, there's so many teachers that I have the pleasure of speaking with that go from Spain to Portugal to Mexico. They just travel. Yeah. And they teach online. They open and close their schedule as they wish, and they get the tax benefits of it while doing so.
Nice.
It's awesome.
KASIE Morrow. She's our friend that wants to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could ever do that. I feel like I've never left Orange County within like a 20-30 mile radius of my house.
Send me back overseas.
Yeah. You mentioned that. You've been for 17 years, you said you were out, right?
Yeah, we were in Japan for 7 and Germany for 10. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Totally different. Really cool. Yeah.
But I definitely would imagine really cool. The culture, the vibe.
It's so.
You know what? I think I just fibbed. I have left for a vacation, but I've never lived, you know, I've never moved anywhere else. But otherwise, I was born in Iran. And then on our journey to America, we lived in India for 2 years. And then from there, we lived here. And then I just recently visited my husband's family in Jordan, like a year or two ago. So I've never lived anywhere else, but I've seen 1 or 2 other countries.
Nice. This has been awesome. Is there anything else you can think of that we should know as online teachers?
Keep track of your expenses. Don't rely on your memory at the end of the year to remember everything you did all year long.
I can't even remember this morning.
You know, I sort of planned, I mean, it's all in God's hand and God's will, but I sort of planned for what was the part that I could kind of have some say in, to give birth after tax season, you know, like, let me see how we can work this out to not be giving birth during tax season, because I don't think I could be Googling that and other tax relevant information at the same time. So like, I need one to be over before the other one starts.
When are you due?
June 18th.
Yay. Oh. Yeah. Anybody have a June birthday? Mine's coming up soon.
Birthdays. The good thing is, well, I don't know if this is a good thing or not. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's not. Last year, the tax deadline got moved from April 15th to July 15th because of everything that was happening regarding COVID. And technically, I mean, this year, the ramifications of everything that happened are still happening. So, you know, a lot of tax accountants, especially in my network that I work with, are they going to extend it? Are they not going to extend it? And I'm like, don't extend it. I planned around this.
No.
But they're not. The IRS has already released a statement saying that they do not plan to extend the deadline from April 15th as they did last year. The general tax extension deadline that allows you to apply for a 6-month extension from April 15th to October 15th still applies. That's just part of general tax law. But they're not planning on extending the actual due date.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Let's just get it done while you can.
Last year, tax season never ended for me.
Yeah.
Never ended. Up until like literally when tax filing opened 6 days ago, I was still submitting 2019 tax returns. It never ended.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You've got your work cut out for you with all of this.
I love it. I enjoy it. I really enjoy it.
Good. So yeah, check out her channel. And Rebecca said, "Oh, I can only imagine what tax people are going through thanks to COVID." Yeah. Wow. Definitely. Check out her channel. Subscribe to her channel. Watch some of the videos first. Those of you that don't know, did you know that if you just subscribe to somebody's channel, it'll get taken as spam if you don't watch some of the videos?
Really?
Yes. So I've been learning all these things. So I try to give people little tidbits every once in a while on here. So go ahead and watch a video, subscribe. You're going to want to watch more videos because she's got some great content. I watched some before coming here or before we went live. So go check them out. Check out Moment Tax Services. Oh, your channel name. Mouth. What is it?
It's called, the name of the channel that's linked below, it's called Monetary Mouth, because we talk a lot about money and everything monetary related, right? But I do think I'm going to change the name of the channel to Moment Tax Services, just for SEO and branding purposes, to keep everything in line and just keep everything the same. But my assistant came up with the name Monetary Mouth, and I instantly loved it. And I was like, yes,
cute. I do like it though.
I like it. I just don't think it's, for SEO and for branding and for like all those reasons, as you know better than I do. It's not the most efficient. So I'll be changing it to Moment Tax Services probably after we do this.
So, but the link will still work. So use that link, go check it out, and check out Moment Tax Services. And like she said, she's offering that 15 minutes if you want to get to know her and her business. Wow, I think that's it. Oh, Rebecca said she went and subscribed. You rock, Rebecca. She is so supportive. Love it.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much. I'm sure I'll talk to you before then. We've already been talking forever, so.
All right, everybody. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming, and thank you in the chat. You guys are awesome as always. We'll see you next time.
We'll see you. Bye-bye. Good luck tax season.